بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Let us start with lesson 8 inshallah. What I'll do is, I know there might be some people who are new to the class or they just want to ask some questions. Again, inshallah, towards the end of the lesson, I'll stay around for another 5 to 10 minutes and answer any questions. طيب. So today we are going through lesson 8. Lesson 8 inshallah. And alhamdulillah, lesson 8 is nothing too heavy, if that makes sense. Just a few, say, specific details we'll go through. So before we actually continue, before we start reading, we'll quickly go through them. Let's delete this, make a new one. طيب. Now, the first question I want to ask everyone is, what does this mean? هذا. What does this mean, simply? Okay, ahsant. Aisha, sister Aisha got it correct. This is a house. I'm being very specific here. This is a house. Someone said this house. That is not entirely correct. This is a full sentence. That needs to be made clear. A full sentence, right? A clear-cut sentence. Now, the difference we're going to learn today is, now, for example, if I say هذا البيت, what does this sentence mean? Sadly, everyone except Farhana got it wrong. This means this house. This house. But one thing I need to point out is, with this sentence, the sentence is not complete. For example, if I was to speak to someone, I said to them, car. I just said car to them. They would respond by saying, what about the car? Car what? Right? If I said to them, this is a car, okay, they'll understand this, whatever I'm referring to is a car. If I said to them, this car, if I simply said to them, this car, they would respond by saying, this car what? What about the car? Similarly, in this sentence, هذا البيت, it's the same thing. This car or this house in our sentence, it's not a complete sentence. And it requires something else to finish the sentence. So for example, let's add a new word. Let's write جديد. Right? جديد. So now the sentence will mean هذا البيت, this house is new. جديد means new. So the sentence now means this house is new. So now we have a complete sentence. Yeah? So that's a very important concept to take away. There's more details to it, but I think it's best I leave it just to not to confuse anyone, inshallah. That's number one. However, wait, in this lesson, do they introduce adjectives? No, they don't. They do not. Okay, if they don't, that's fine. Perfect. That's going to come in a bit. Okay. Let me check one thing. Okay. Let's go back to it. So in that case, given that this new rule that we've learned, if we look at the first line, it says هذا الرجل. Okay, a sister asks, does it not mean this is the new house? I'm gonna write it down how to actually say that. If you want to say this is the new house, you have to say this. هذا. Don't ask me why, because this is something we learn a lot later, but just for the sake of, for the sake of the question, I'll answer it. هذا هو البيت. So I'm gonna get rid of the new part. هذا هو البيت. This means this is the house. This is the house. But if you want to say this is the new house, it's a slightly different structure, which we haven't adjective. Well, we need to introduce an adjective, which we have not learned yet. But if you want to say this is the house, this is how you say it. هذا هو البيت. I hope that answers the question, Sister Maria. Inshallah. Okay. Anyways, come back to our sentence. It says هذا الرجل تاجر وذلك الرجل طبيب. I'll let you guys in the chat section write down the translation of the sentence. Rajul means man. So what does this sentence mean? I'm asking you guys. Ahsantum, sorry. هذا الرجل, yes, this man is a businessman or a merchant, and that man is a doctor. Okay, next line. اسم التاجر محمود. اسم التاجر محمود واسم الطبيب سعيد. First thing we want to look at in this sentence is this thing here. This is a Hamz al-Wasl. We have covered this, so it should be familiar to you guys. This is a Hamz al-Wasl. What is a Hamz al-Wasl? At the beginning of a sentence, we mention it or we pronounce it, but in the middle of a sentence, we do not pronounce the Hamz al-Wasl, like we see right here. Instead of saying wa ismul tabib, we say wasmul tabib. That's number one. Number two, what construct is this? This construct is a idafa construct. Mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. This is mudaf, right? And this is the tajir is mudaf ilayhi, which we have covered. Inshallah, that should be familiar to you guys. So, ismu tajiri. Ismu tajiri means the name of the businessman is, I'm just going to put that there. The name, ism means name. The name of the businessman is Mahmoud, and the name of the doctor is Saeed. Yeah, one more time. The name of the businessman or the merchant is Mahmoud, and the name of the doctor is Saeed. طيب. Let's go to the next line. هذا البيت للتاجر وذلك البيت للطبيب. I believe this is new. This thing right here, I believe that's new. Let me just check. Okay, it doesn't mention anywhere, but inshallah, is it new? Can someone remind me? Because I'm teaching quite a few lessons. I can't. It's not new. As in, is it new for what we've covered? So everyone, okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, that's good. Save me. Okay. So in that case, then alhamdulillah, that was we can answer this quickly. So this house belongs to the businessman, and that house belongs to the doctor, or is for the doctor. Although one question was asked me the other day, okay, Ustadh, how do we differentiate between for or belonging to? Because obviously they might have very similar meanings, but of course, they're still not the same thing. The answer to that is it depends on context. Sometimes you can tell straight away that it's for belonging to, whereas in other contexts, you know that the meaning is for. Sometimes, obviously, the meaning can be interchangeable. طيب. Next line. This is new, and this is new. أمام and خلف, they are both what? ظروف. ظروف. As we've come across before, ظروف المكان and ظروف الزمان. Amama means in front of, similar to Imam, because the Imam is in front of the people. So let's write that down. In front of. And khalfa is the opposite, which is behind. So if you look at the sentences, Baytul Tajiri Amam al-Masjid. The house of the merchant, or the merchant's house, is in front of the masjid. Is in front of the masjid. And the house of the doctor, or the doctor's house, is behind the school, madrasa. Yeah, the house of the doctor is behind the school. Is there any questions so far? Any questions regarding what we've covered so far? Tamam. Let's go to the next line. Okay. لمن هذه السيارة ولمن تلك. Can I explain about the lamb? Okay, inshallah I will do. Let's do that. The lamb. This lamb, li. This lamb, as people know it, or people call it, the lamb of position. It is a harful jar. That's number one. Let's write that. It's a harful jar. and it has the meaning of for, or it has the meaning of belonging to. Now, obviously, we can see that this lam has been used right here. Yeah, gives the meaning of, or in this context, or in this sentence, the context would be belonging to. So this house belongs to the tajir, or you could even say for the tajir. It both has the same meaning of for in here. وَذَلِكَ الْبَيْتُ لِلطَّبِيبِ. And that's essentially all you need to know about the lamb right now. Hope that makes sense, brother or sister. Sorry, forgive me. I can't tell from these names. Wallahi. Okay. So here we have this lamb come again. Liman. If the lamb was not there, it would just say man hadihi sayyara. Whose is this car? Or whose car? Whose is this car? Or whose man hadihi sayyara? Yeah, who's this car? But when the lamb is there, now the sentence means who does this car belong to? Or for who is this car? And then if you complete the sentence, so liman hadi sayyara wa liman tilka, and who does that belong to? No. Just to clarify. First of all, it says liman hadi sayyara, whose car is this? And whose is that? Make that very clear. When they say who's that, they're talking about another car. So in this sentence, there's two cars being spoken about. So who does this car belong to, and whose is that, or who does that one belong to? That's what the sentence means. Okay. Yeah. So in this context, there's two cars being spoken about here. Okay. Next line. Why is tilka used? Because the reason why tilka is because sayyara is feminine. Why is it feminine? Because of the ta marbuta. Hence, when we refer back to sayyara, we have to use the feminine words, which is either hadihi, which is used here already, or tilka. Okay. Next line. هذه السيارة للطبيب وتلك للتاجر. This car belongs to the doctor, and that belongs to the businessman. So that sentence should be quite straightforward, inshallah. This car belongs to the doctor, and that one belongs to the businessman. Last line for this part. هذه السيارة من اليابان وتلك من أمريكا. This car is from Japan. Japan is Japan. And that is from America. Now, one thing I want to bring to attention is the word America. Oops. Why? Because here we have a harf jar. And we know that harf jar makes the next word majroor. But in our case, when we see it with America, we see that it has a fatha on it. Why is that the case? The reason being is there are some words in the Arabic language, no matter what state it's in, the word for or the word form stays the same. So America or America, in our case, America, regardless of whether it's majroor or is mansoob or is marfu, this is how it looks like. America stays as America. So in this case, even though it has a fatha, the word is not غير munsarif. It's a different reason. Munsarif is something else. Now, وَتِلْكَ مِنْ أَمْرِيكَ. So another word to use will be mustashfa. Mustashfa, even though the word, or regardless of what state the word is in, it looks the same. So whether the word is majroor or mansoob, if mustashfa is majroor, mansoob, it still shows, and you still see mustashfa, the way it's written. But another important thing you have to understand is, even though we don't see the change between the fatha and the, why does the word not change? That's just how it is. That's just how these words are. That's how they come. There are reasons for it. There are obviously more, other deeper reasons, but that's just, not for this lesson. Not within the capacity of this lesson. Anyways, the point I want to come back to is, even though we don't see the change physically, The change is still there. So for example, in this case, America is majroor. The word is majroor, even though we don't see it. That's very important to understand. The word is majroor, even though there's a fatha there, the word is majroor. That's very important to just bear that in mind. So there will be some words will come across like this that obviously when you look at it, it doesn't look, it doesn't change. It stays the way it is, but the state does change regardless. Okay. Tamarin. So anything tamarin, all homework, of course. Is that the same with Japan? No. Min al-Yabani. That's how you say it. Min al-Yabani. For the sister asking. Okay, come back to our tamarin. Sorry, if I wasn't clear, it is not the same with Japan. Japan, you can change the states. I mean, you show the states. From what I'm aware of, anyways. Although I don't really see the word Japan used in Arabic books a lot, but generally speaking, yeah, the word you can change the states, as in if it's marfu, dhamma, if it's majroor, kasra, etc. All right, so tamarin, so that should be all homework. That should be quite clear, to be honest. I'll answer the following questions. These are all comprehension questions. So continue. Okay, let's do some of these together. Iqra waktub, so number 2. So we'll do some of these together. Okay. Number 4. What's the meaning of number 4? I'll say it in Arabic, and obviously I want you guys to translate in the chat, inshallah. هذه السيارة لعلي وتلك لخالد. So, correct. His car belongs to Ali, and that one, and that belongs to Khalid. Okay. Let's do number 5. هذا الباب مفتوح وذلك الباب مغلق. مغلق is the opposite of مفتوح. Correct. This door is open and that door is closed. What about this one? Number 8. هذه الدراجة هذه الدراجة لابن المؤذن. نعم. Very tough one, inshallah. With my other class, they also made the same mistake. They forget this Ibn has a meaning. Aywa. So, that's the case. Correct your sentences. This door is very close though, but incorrect. It says, is this the bike that belongs to, or does this bike, you could say, does this bike belong to the son of the mu'adhin? Na'am means yes. Oops. So does this bike belong to the son of the mu'adhin? This is mudaf ilayhi. The la li, this is a harf jar li. Or you could even say, is this bike for the son of the mu'adhin? Okay. Number 10. أذلك البيت جديد لا هو قديم جدا. The answer is, some of you are correct. Is that house new? Is that house new? Remember, ذلك is being used. Therefore, the meaning has to be that. Is that house new? لا, no. هو قديم جدا. It is very old. جدا, I'm assuming we have come across جدا before. جدا is like أيضا, in the sense that whenever you use this word, you use like that all the time. Whenever you want to give the meaning of very. because jiddan means very, and aidan means also. But when you want, so when you want to give it these meanings, you have to use it like that, jiddan or aidan, etc. And last one we'll do. Last one we'll do. We'll do number 12. Last one we'll do number 12. هذا السكين من ألمانيا. This one does not change, by the way. ألمانيا stays ألمانيا. وتلك الملعقة من إنكلترا. سكين is knife. Almania means Germany. Inkaltara means Britain or UK. Although in Arabic you have the word Britannia, which is Britain, but Inkaltara, I don't know if it's referring to the UK or if it's Britain or if what the small minute difference might be. Okay. Yeah, England might be. I think England is correct. Yeah, probably England. Yeah, I'll write that down. Okay, so this knife is from Germany, and that spoon is from Inglaterra. Correct. Here I'm just showing us, illustrating the example of what we just learned today. So هذا الكتاب means this book, whereas if you say هذا كتاب, this is a book, very different. Okay. So in this homework, as you can see, all you have to do is add al to the word to give and finish the sentence. So similarly, this is how you have this, as you can see here, right? This corresponds to this, and then you have to turn it into this long sentence, and then you have to put it into here. That confusing, guys. That's basically what you have to do. That's the homework for that, inshallah. Okay. So number 4. Make questions and answers as shown in the example using the word liman. So essentially, this is your example here given, and you do the same for each one. And okay, so first one says liman hadha al-kitab. This is a kitab. This is the picture. So here, in number 1, you say liman hadha al-qalam, for example. I'm going too fast. Okay, forgive me. I am going to. Okay, fine. Should I go back to the previous homework and explain that one again? Okay. All right. So just repeat this homework. You have to essentially, so this example, you need to apply it to this side, and then you need to answer them, as in that's the example they're given, and you put it on this side. So let's do the first one together. It's probably better to show it to you. So the first one said, liman hadha al-kitab. For who is this book, or who does this book belong to? The response is, هذا الكتاب لمحمد. This book is for Muhammad. Now we're doing the same sentence structure. I'm applying it to number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So let's do the first one. Liman, right? Liman, هذا what? Here the first one is kitab. That's because the picture of kitab is here. So in our case, we have a pen. So we'll say al-qalam. Liman هذا القلم, right? Let's go to this. Now we need to write the response here using this structure right here. So we say هذا القلم لي. So here Muhammad was given, which is corresponding with the name here. This time we're going to use this name, Abbas. هذا القلم لي عباس. And you have to apply that to number 2, number 3, number 4, and until the end, inshallah. Okay. Now come back to number 5. So number 5 is not really homework, but it's more just reflection. So read the following, keeping in mind the rule pertaining to nouns ending in, I don't know what this sound makes, but we'll go through it, inshallah. If it's a or if it's e, because I'm seeing this and then I'm seeing a, so I don't know. Anyways, let's go through it. البيت حرف الجر. في البيت حرف الجر again. من البيت. حرف الجر إلى البيت. Yeah. Al-Mustashfa. So as I was saying earlier, Al-Mustashfa is one of those words, regardless of what state it's in, it's pronounced Mustashfa. So Al-Mustashfa, then when we put harf jar fi before it, we say Fil Mustashfa. We don't say Fil Mustashfi. We do not say that. Next one, Min. Again, another harf jar. But we say Min al-Mustashfa. Same with Ila, because another harf jar. And the same is applied, same thing with America and Almania, as you can see. So America, fi America, min America, ila America. Then we have Almania, fi Almania, min Almania, ila Almania. Stays the same. Although, just bear in mind, again, just to not confuse anyone, even though the form stays the same, the word is majroor, regardless. Even though you could say it's hidden. Mustatir, as they say in Arabic. But the word is majroor. Because why? Because of the harf al-jar before it. Okay. Coming to number 6. Iqra uktub, read and write. So read the sentences. Actually, we'll do some of them together. We'll read the sentences and I would want you to translate them as well. So let's do this one, number 2. ذهب, this is a verb now. ذهب حامد إلى فرنسا. What does this sentence mean? Hamid went to France, correct. Hamid went to France. What about number 4? ذهب عبد الله من ألمانيا إلى إنجلترا. Abdullah went from Germany to England. Ahsant, yeah, that's correct. Abdullah went from Germany to England. And lastly, let's do number 6. هذا المهندس من أمريكا. This engineer is from America. Excellent. Okay, next one. Keeping in mind the rule pertaining to khalfa and amama, which are mudaf. Meaning, if amama is mudaf, khalfa is mudaf, the next word has to be mudaf ilayhi. So it has to pertain to the rules, or it has to keep to the rules of mudaf ilayhi. So if you look at number 1, as-saburatu amama at-talibi wa hiya khalfa al-mudarrisi. So the board or the whiteboard is in front of the student and it is behind the teacher. Let's repeat that one more time. The whiteboard is in front of the student and it is behind the teacher. Someone attempt to do number 2. أين سيارة المدرس هي أمام المدرسة. أحسنتي. أين Mariam said, where is the teacher's car? It is in front of the school. That's correct. I'll do the last one. Actually, we'll do number 5 as well. أين جلس حامد. Jalasa is a new verb, means to sit. Past tense verb. So where is Hamid sitting? Jalasa khalfa Mahmudin. He sat behind Mahmud. طيب. Hope that's clear. Number 5. ذهب عمار إلى المسجد وجلس أمام المحراب. Mihrab is mihrab. I don't know what the best English translation would be. Mihrab is like, the little prayer area that you'd have in some places. I think in English we still call it niche. Yeah, niche. Niche is very encompassing of different stuff. Not pulpit. I wouldn't say pulpit because the mihrab is the area you'd pray in. Perhaps enclave, I guess so. But I mean, even then, I mean, these words are not exactly the best translations, but they are translations regardless. But as long as you guys get the point, inshallah. So, ذهب عمار إلى المسجد. Ammar went to the mosque. وجلس أمام المحراب, and he sat in front of the mihrab. طيب. Alhamdulillah, and that is the end of lesson 8. طيب, brothers and sisters, any questions? Today's lesson wasn't too much, alhamdulillah. Because I know with this lesson specifically, in my other classes, I give them a lot more details, but obviously I'm aware that, you know, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. So I didn't introduce it in. Class is, yes, alhamdulillah, today's class is finished. If you have any questions, I'll sit for another 5 to 10 minutes, go for any previous questions, inshallah. If not, you are free to leave. Okay, Brother Hamza asks, what is the difference between tilka and dhalika? Akhi, what I will advise you is, rather than me answering it here, is best you go back to the videos and watch it from the videos, inshallah. And there you will get a lot more explanation and a lot more coverage of that, you know, of tilka and dhalika, inshallah. Can you please explain homework 1? Okay, I'll assume you mean homework 1 for this lesson. So let's go back to homework 1. Homework 1 is it's just comprehension. It says right there, answer the following questions. That's all it is. So you read it and you answer them. And the answer to these questions will be found in the text. So if you just look at the first one, Man هذا الرجل ومن ذلك الرجل. The answer should be right here. هذا الرجل تاجر وذلك الرجل طبيب. Inshallah. Okay. Next question. I find it extremely difficult to write words from memory. Any advice? I find it extremely difficult to write words. What do you mean to write words? Do you mean Arabic words from? Obviously, I'm assuming you're gonna write. You mean Arabic words from memory, Habibi. When memorization, I know the best thing for when it comes to memorization is repetition. Now, either you repeat it with the mouth, or I would say spend as much time doing the homework as you can. And on top of that, if this helps you, get another notebook. And also write down keywords that, you know, perhaps you feel like you may forget. And also, I also did this when I first went through this book, is I got another book and I wrote down the key rules, the key grammar rules in that notebook. That's notebook specifically just for grammar rules in Madinah book 1, etc. I mean, obviously that's not exactly related to the question, but, you know, it would help with memory. That's the reason why I mentioned it. And homework, see, the homework in Arabic is there for a reason. It has to be done, otherwise you will forget the words. Vocab will lose, I mean, just disappear. And eventually the grammar rules will also disappear from you as well. Okay, what is the meaning of muhandis? Muhandis means engineer. And if you say muhandisah, yani, I'll say it one more time, muhandisatun, with a ta marbuta at the end, that's a female engineer. In exercise 4, let's go to exercise 4. What is the meaning of kawin? What is kawin? I do not see kawin anywhere. Or am I looking at the wrong exercise? This is to Brother Ibrahim. No, not Brother Ibrahim. This is to whoever's on Galaxy S9. Okay, Ibrahim says, what is the meaning of the 4th word in the new words box? Let's go to the new words box. Where is the new words box? Swissra. Swissra. I would assume it would mean Switzerland. Although I'll be honest, I only check with you on that one. Swissra. The thing is, with Swissra, I've never ever seen it used, ever. But that's because I'm not really reading on geography. So I would just, yeah, I'll have to check on that, though, definitely. Arabic words, spelling is tough. Missing out, yeah, alif. Can you explain L to me? I thought it made things specific and was translated as the. However, when it is mudaf ilayhi, it doesn't mean the in the sentence. Okay, looking at Sister Mariam's question. Can you explain L to me? Okay, let's go back. Let's look at L. L in a generic form means يعني will give the meaning of the to whatever word it's attached to. So baytun, a house, al-baytu, the house. Now you were asking, however, when it is mudaf ilayhi, what mudaf ilayhi, it doesn't mean the in that sentence. Because al in essentially is about yani making a word definite. What do I mean by definite? When I mean definite, I mean when I say a car, I could be referring to any car in the world. When I say a car. However, when I say the car, I have now specified. Now in my head, I know what car I'm talking about. It's now specified to an extent. Obviously, you may not know which car I'm talking about, but I know because I'm the one saying it. Mudaf ilayhi also, what it does is it creates an element of definiteness, even though al might not be there, or even if al is there. So that's something you learn a bit later, but it doesn't mean the in that sentence. Essentially, but obviously, the level what we're doing it as the level we are at. If you have al in the so in the mudaf ilayhi specifically. So if I say baytut tajiri, I'll write it down. Al is right there, right? It means the house of the businessman. So the meaning of the is there. However, if I was to get rid of the al here, let's wrote baytu tajirin, the meaning is the house of a merchant. The house of a merchant. So the meaning of the is still there. Okay. Come back, brother, who wrote Kawin. Wallahi, brother, I don't know which part you're talking about when you say Kawin. Exercise 4, I believe you said. Kawin. Where is Kawin? Where is Kawin? Oh, you're talking about the Arabic Kawin. This is what you're talking about. Okay, okay. Kawin means to produce or create, essentially. Make. Loose translation, create, inshallah. So if you want, it says, اقرأ المثال الآتي, read the following examples, ثم كون, then create أسئلة وأجوبة مثله, then create questions and answers similar to it. That's what it says. Okay. What is the best way to write in Arabic? What do you mean by what is the best way to write in Arabic? You need to be a bit more specific with that question. It says, it says, إخرى مثل. Okay. Okay, Galaxy S9, whoever's on Galaxy, I hope I've answered your question about Kawin, inshallah. Shamim, I don't know I have no idea what you're talking about. طيب. Is harf a combination of a conjunction and a preposition? No. A harf, depending on the meaning, like for example, a harf, if you're not talking about in the grammatical meaning or the technical meaning, a harf is a letter. However, when you talk about harf al-jar, that's a now we're talking about, for example, the technical meaning of harf in the grammar, obviously, and that would be a word that has no meaning in and of itself. It requires other words to have meaning. Okay. However, when you said هذا البيت, you said it meant this house. Why it translates as? Okay. That's a good question. So let's go back to it. Come back to Sister Mariam's question. Al, which is, remember, like with Arabic, when you're doing translation between Arabic to English, you can't always be specific 100% on the dot. You have to get the closest thing to it in terms of meaning. Now, al is about giving definitiveness to the word. That's what it does. So when I say this house, clearly, like the meaning of the house or a house that's known to me, that's already within the sentence, within the context of the sentence. Do you understand? That's what al is there to do, is to make it more definitive, as in it's not just a general word about any house. It's now a specific house. Obviously, the person speaking, he's the one that knows, or she's the one that knows what they're talking about or what they're referring to specifically. And that's why when you say hadal bayt, you say this house. The meaning of the definitiveness is essentially implied within that sentence or within that meaning. Okay. Brother Mosh saying, I find it hard to write in Arabic. In the first lesson, I did encourage everyone to buy a book. It is a black book. It's the Gateway to Arabic, book 1, black color book. If you buy that book and you go through that book, inshallah, your handwriting will improve overnight, literally. For you. Okay. Can you say هذا بيت? Yes, you can say هذا بيت. This is a house. This is a house. That's the meaning that we give. هذا بيت. Okay. Don't, Sister Maryam, like, you know, when it comes to these details, accept them for now. Trust me, when you get to a higher level text, when you actually go through the details, it will make a lot more sense. But at this stage, a lot of things will be slightly confusing, but it's just best to accept it. And the brother is asking for the name of the book. Writing book is Gateway to Arabic. Gateway to Arabic, book 1. But it's a black color book. There's a green color book and there's a black one. Again, it's by Imran something. I can't remember the guy's name. Imran something. That book is really good for handwriting. Also, Safar books, I believe they've also published a book for handwriting, which is also good, which you can use. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I'm going to have to rush off. The brothers are praying Asr. I will need to go join them, inshallah. If there's any questions, prepare them for next lesson, inshallah. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.